Welcome to Sugar, Salt, and Fat, brought to you by Branco Productions. My name is Nate Branco, and today in this podcast, I will be talking to you about the childhood obesity epidemic spreading across the United States. I will also have a very special guest joining me today to give his input on the situation, Dr. Harriet O'Brien. Some of the things we will be talking about are how this epidemic got started, where it is now, and how we can fix it in the future. So, when did this epidemic begin? According to the Center for Disease Control, 17% of children are suffering from obesity in 2019, compared to the mere 5% in the 1960s and 70s. So, how did this happen? In the mid-1980s and early 1990s, there showed a rapid increase in childhood obesity, going from 5% of children to a staggering 15% of children. This is likely partially because of genetics and partially because of eating habits. These new eating habits ended up resulting in a higher calorie intake through processed and fatty foods. Sugar is also a big part of the issue, as most sugar is converted directly into fat by your body. Now that we know where this epidemic began, we can have a clearer picture based on how it is today. Speaking about where obesity is now, we have Dr. Harriet O'Brien.
Go. Well, in this day and age, we seem to have started going backwards, actually, in the sense of obesity. You see, in the early 1900s, children were eating very healthy, which is a huge contrast to what is happening today. This is mostly due to the fact that they didn't have as much sugary and fatty foods in the 1900s than we do in the 2000s.
These food companies are just trying to make extra money by selling sugary foods to kids. Now that kids have the option of these sugary foods, they can buy them with much more ease. It doesn't help that sugary and fatty foods are much cheaper than buying healthier foods. We have pinpointed the start of the obesity epidemic and where it is today, but we still don't know what can be done about it. These companies need to stop being so secretive about the amount of sugar they put in with their products. Many companies have been misleading customers by putting the amount of sugar in serving sizes and not for the entire package. Companies are purposely misleading people into thinking their products are healthier than they are by using phrases like fat-free and low sugar. I attempted to interview Juan Garcia Lopez Eduardo Enrique III, Esquire of Paris, owner of Garcia Enterprises. After asking him if his customers knew how much sugar was in their drinks, he responded with,
"I knew how much sugar is in our products. I just didn't realize how much it would affect people."
Thank you for listening to the podcast. I have one last request to all business owners. Please make the food labels more clear to your customers, or else we might have a future that is full of obese children. Thank you to Harriet O'Brien and Juan Enrique for talking in this podcast. Thank you all for listening in.